Hi, gang. Jeff McAleer here, and today actually marks the 17th anniversary of the September 11th attacks in the United States. And normally I start off the show, do my opening, and kind of something a little silly or national, whatever, oddball day. Today, certainly not going to do something like that because I know it's always important to never forget, always remember, but I do have to point out that Americans need to also look forward, look ahead as well on September 11th and see how we are going to continue to keep the country safe, as well as our allies around the world as well. So, anyway, that being said, the Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope. And as I mentioned, opening the show, today is Tuesday, September 11th. And I'm going to get into the news, and I'm also going to unbox and take a first look at Fist of Dragonstones, the Tavern Edition, from my friends over at Stronghold Games. But before I jump into that, today is a very somber day. For most Americans, I would say the vast majority of Americans, as well as a lot of our friends around the globe. And, you know, I was an adult when September 11th took place. And I know, there are a lot of younger people out there who are small children, or, you got teenagers now that weren't even born when September 11th took place. And I got to admit, I lived out in Chandler, Arizona, and at the time, and my brother, Greg, worked as a purser, which is kind of like a lead flight attendant for United Airlines. And he actually called right away. This was after the first plane had hit the first tower. And he had called right away to let me know that he was all right. He had called my mom. And in fact, if I remember correctly, I think he was actually working in like flight operations for United at that point in time. So interestingly enough, he was aware of other hijacked planes. In fact, there was rumors that there were far more than the number of planes. There were far more than 4, they thought. And it was very, I don't want to say terrifying because I was a 33-year-old man at that point in time, but it was very bizarre. And sitting there that evening, of course, I had CNN on, 24/7 for the next few days. I recall that night there were fighter jets patrolling the Phoenix airspace, and everyone was sitting there like, okay, when's the other shoe gonna drop? This can't be it. There's got to be more coming. And it was very, very unnerving, especially living in a major metropolitan area. So I could only imagine what it was like back in my hometown of Chicago at the time, when people were like, oh my gosh, they hit New York. What about LA? What about Chicago? So just want to mention that it's important to not forget. And but I think far too many Americans just get really riled up and really upset. And trust me, the wounds are still pretty fresh 17 years later, especially for those who lost family members and loved ones. But it's also important to realize that there are reasons why these terrorist organizations hate the West. And if you ignore those reasons, then we are never going to solve this problem. Now, I'm not saying that all of these individuals are lucid or rational individuals, because they're not. But it is important that we in the West do recognize that we had skin in the game. There are reasons why these people despise us to no end. And some of the reasons have nothing to do with us at all, because some of these Arab countries are still pissed off about the Crusades. So anyway, All right, so just wanted to mention that. I apologize, kind of pontificating about that to start off the show. I know we talk about, you know, tabletop games and, little geek culture stuff here and there, and it's a real casual show, and it's just kind of, just me chatting away. So I do apologize for kind of starting off on a kind of somber, serious note. Anyway, this is a live stream. If you happen to be watching live, there is chat available on YouTube. So it's not on screen because that's how I keep some of the stranger commenters at bay. But I do keep my eye on the chat. So if you want to say hello, or you have a question, or you want to see something closer up with Fist of Dragonstones, the Tavern Edition, by all means chime in and I will respond. Right, so I've got a good amount of news today, so let's jump on in, because the first expansion for the excellent worker placement / tableau building game Everdell has hit Kickstarter, and I've got the dope on Pearlbrook. Pearlbrook. Dive in, the water's fine. Return to the magical world of Everdell with Pearlbrook, the first expansion for the critically acclaimed game of worker placement, tableau building, and adorable critters. Players will explore a new underwater society below Everdell's Pearlbrook River. Pearlbrook introduces a new sideboard, the Riverboard, where you'll send your frog ambassador to gather a new resource, pearls. Are pearls found in rivers? I don't know. I thought pearls were like in the ocean from clams. Oysters, I should say. Clams, duh. Oysters. Yeah, I got a pearl out of this clam. You'll also encounter new aquatic critters and constructions. Collect enough pearls and you can construct fabulous wonders and adornments to make your city the pride of Everdell. During setup, the Riverboard will be placed beside the main board. The new resource, pearls, will be placed in the shoal. 4 river destination cards will be chosen at random and placed face down with an unseen on the 4 locations on the river. The basic events from the base game are replaced with 4 wonders of Everdell. Finally, each player will receive a frog ambassador and 2 adornment cards, which are drawn randomly. River destination cards consist of citizens and locations. Players will send their frog ambassador Meeple to a destination to flip over the card and discover what awaits them below. The first player to visit an unrevealed river destination automatically gains 1 pearl, as it's a race to see who can establish diplomatic connections with the water folk first. I have to say, the Pearlbrook expansion funded in the first 30 minutes it was live yesterday, and the project is currently sitting at right about 800% funding as of about an hour ago. You can get the expansion alone for a $39 pledge, the collector's edition of the core game itself for a $65 pledge, which actually saves you $15 over the MSRP, or you can actually score both for a $105 pledge. Project runs through September 27th with an expected delivery a year from now. Very, very cool. Damn, I wish it was coming out sooner than September 2019. I really, really enjoy Everdell. You should check out my review. Just did it, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I think it's a couple of weeks ago. Really, really dig it. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm still figuring out some of the little intricacies of some of the combos with the cards. And actually had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago to play it with my best friend, Elliot Miller, over at voiceofe.com. And he loved it too. He really, really dug it. All the gang, my nephew and his friends who have played it, not all of his friends have played it, all really, really dig it. So definitely check it out. You have plenty of time right now to pledge your support for the expansion. And if you don't have the core game, and I think you're going to have to wait if you want to get it for the $65. I don't know if it's sold out. I have no idea if it's completely sold out, because I could have swore the regular retail version of Everdell was going to come out, I thought in October or November, so I'm not positive. But by all means, check it out. Everdell is excellent. And this looks like a pretty cool expansion as well. Renegade Game Studios has a new family title arriving in January, and I've got the dope on Slap It. I don't know, for some strange reason, it's just... Good thing it's not called Spank It, because I would probably be going blue. Anyway, here's the dope. Renegade Game Studios is excited to announce a monstrously cute dexterity game designed by Kane Kliko and illustrated by Mr. Cuddington. I do not know who Mr. Cuddington is. In Slap It, roll dice to determine which monster card players must try to slap first. Whoever has slapped the most monsters at the end of the game wins. Pretty simple. A portal to another dimension has opened and monsters are pouring out. Ugh, I hate when that happens. What do you do when you encounter a monster? Slap it! In Slap It, players race to be the first to slap the correct monster. But that's not always as easy as it seems. With new monsters coming out of the portal and the dice changing the rules, you'll need to stay on your toes and be lightning fast. And if you see a monster coming, you guessed it, slap it! Slap It is for 2 to 8 players, ages 7 and up, plays in around 5 to 10 minutes, and it will carry an MSRP of $15 when it arrives in January. Kind of a cool kind of container for the game. Looks kind of interesting there. So looks like that should be plenty of fun for the kids and for the kid in all of us. If you like solving mysteries and you dig true crime stories, you might be interested in checking out the upcoming release from Lucky Duck Games, Chronicles of Crime. Here's the dope. Maybe I should say scoop, skinny. Chronicles of Crime is a cooperative game of crime investigation, mixing VR experience and board gaming. With the same physical components, board, locations, characters, and items, players will be able to play plenty of different scenarii, wouldn't it be scenarios? And solve as many different crime stories. I have an impression that Lucky Duck Games may not be an English language company here, based on the press release. They will start the app, choose the scenario they want to play, and follow the story. The goal being to catch the killer of the case they have been given in the short time possible. Yes, obviously enough, this is a very poor English translation. Using the scan and play technology, each component, locations, characters, items, etc., has a unique QR code. I thought it's a QRC code. Or maybe it's just QRC. The C is the code, which, depending on the scenario selected, will activate and trigger different clues and stories. That means players will be able to get new stories way after the game is released simply by downloading the app's updates without any shipping of new physical components involved. The VR experience only requires a mobile phone. Players simply put the VR glasses provided inside the game onto their mobile device and put the VR glasses on their nose, holding their mobile device in front of their eyes to immerse themselves in the game's universe and search for clues in a virtual world. Each session lasts around an hour to an hour and a half, and many scenarios are connected to each other in order to tell a much bigger story. I gotta admit, I am actually kind of skipping over weird kind of grammar and like weird plurals where there shouldn't be a plural. Like I said, I don't think Lucky Duck is an English language company. I don't think they're in the US or the UK or Canada or anything like that. Anyway, Chronicles of Crime is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in 60 to 90 minutes, as I mentioned, and will carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it releases this November. That seems kind of inexpensive, doesn't it? But I do have to point out that additional VR component that you can add into the proceedings will carry an MSRP of $14.99, thus bumping the price of the game up a little bit. Gotta say, this sounds interesting, but I am still one of these people where, you know, I don't necessarily like having to have these digital elements or online elements to board games. It's just because, I mean, they're indicating that you can easily play the game without having to use the VR component. But I think you do need to use the app as far as having it on a tablet or your phone. Obviously, if you're using the VR little glasses, that you're going to have to use a phone. It's not going to work on a tablet. It's going to be too big. But I don't know. I have no idea. It does sound interesting. Seems kind of cool. I kind of like the aspect of you're searching for clues. But then again, I'm always a little bit leery with the digital components, or in this case, digital and VR components. Okay, so there's some big RPG news because the 5th edition of Vampire the Masquerade is now available in PDF from White Wolf Publishing, and I've got the dope. Vampire the Masquerade is the original and ultimate role-playing game of personal and political horror. You are a vampire struggling for survival, supremacy, and your own fading humanity, afraid of what you are capable of and fearful of the inhuman conspiracies that surround you. As a vampire, you suffer the pangs of the hunger, the relentless and terrible thirst for human blood. If you refuse to deal with it, it will overcome your mind and drive you to terrible acts to slake it. You walk this razor's edge every night. Dark designs, bitter enemies, and strange allies await you in this world of darkness. The classic that changed role-playing games forever returns. This 5th edition features a streamlined and modern rules design, beautiful new full-color art, and a rich story experience for players. Powered by the innovative Hunger Cycle, the game also includes rules for creating system-supported character coteries, lore sheets to directly involve players with their favorite parts of the setting, and the Memoriam, a new way to bring the characters' detailed backgrounds and expand on them in session. V5 is a return to Vampire's original vision, moving boldly into the 21st century. While the rules have been redesigned, this new edition honors the deep story of the original, advancing the meta plot from where it left off and detailing exactly what has happened in the world of the Kindred up until tonight. The terror of the Second Inquisition, the conspiracies behind the Gehenna War, don't know if I pronounced that right, and the rekindling of the War of Ages. These are the building blocks of the modern V5 Chronicle. The 400-page core book for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition is available in PDF through White Wolf Publishing. I believe it's only through their website. I have not seen it on DriveThruRPG yet. Probably will come out at some point. Do have to mention the physical book, I do believe, is also available now as well, and that does carry an MSRP of $55. I have to admit, I do have a PDF review copy of 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade. I have kind of peeked at it a little bit. That's how I'm showing you some of the interiors from the book. I just picked out some pages to share with you. I have definitely not read enough of it as far as to do a review, because I am just kind of just getting to first dip my toes in, because I haven't seen Vampire since the 1st edition of Vampire came out way back in the day. But it is different from what I remember from Vampire. I'm not going to say more than that. I know there's some people who don't like the art style. I got to admit, I'm not real big on the photography either, but it's not all photography. There is some line artwork as well. Pretty realistic looking. It's not cartoony or anything like that. But I am not sure if White Wolf is sending me a physical book to do a review on or not. So I have to touch base with them. Because I did mention to them, of course, with the live show, why not get the most bang for your buck? I can show off the book as well as, of course, do a review and share the physical book. Of course, do have to point out that Vampire the Masquerade is certainly for a mature audience. So it is not for the younger or more sensitive, I would say, viewers, but I guess we'll say gamers out there. All right, my final news piece. The latest Pathfinder Player Companion is in stores today, and I've got the dope on Heroes from the Fringe. Fringe benefits. Ha ha. Delve into the many non-human societies found outside of the Inner Sea region. From elves to gnomes to halflings to dwarves, Pathfinder Player Companion Heroes from the Fringe offers new options to expand upon non-human characters who come from lesser-known civilizations and backgrounds. Find the right archetype, feats, alternate racial traits, and equipment to reflect your character's heritage. Whether she's a graceful elven samurai from Jenin, or one of the festive gnomes and halflings of Sagada. Don't know if I'm pronouncing those right. I'm taking a stab. Inside this book, you'll find character options for unique cultural groups of major non-human peoples of Golarion, including Osirian's Pommet dwarves, the Ikulja elves of the Wadi Expanse, and dwarves who never left the First World. Hey, thank you for at least having that one be easy to pronounce. Feats for half-orcs and half-elves who hail from different parts of the world, from unyielding half-drow who escape their murderous kin, to vivacious sandkin half-orcs who view themselves as Serene's chosen people. New occult choices spawn from unusual backgrounds, such as whimsical phantoms, formed from the lost wonder of gnomes who fell to the bleaching, and a terrifying psychic archetype for gloomkin half-orcs. This player companion is intended for use with the Pathfinder role-playing game, obviously enough, and the Pathfinder campaign setting, but it can easily be incorporated into any fantasy world. The 32-page softcover, which is in stores today, carries an MSRP of $14.99. I do believe the PDF, I think it's usually about a week, that Paizo has a physical book come out, and then about a week later, they'll release the PDF. I think PDFs on these are about $8.99, if I recall correctly. I mean, to me, I'm not knocking Paizo, right? I mean, come on, give me a break. But to me, 32 pages, $15 for a 32-page softcover, that's a little pricey in my book. That's a little bit pricey, folks. So I would think like the player companions, things like that, when we see these, because honestly, if you think about it, aren't the adventure paths like twice that? They're like 64 pages, and they're usually about $7 more. You don't see 64-page adventure paths that are $30. But I would say something like this, probably want to go with PDF. That would be, my personal option here. But then again, I happen to be a big fan of PDFs. Although, then again, I like having a physical book in my hands too. So it's kind of like, you know what I like the PDFs for? I love the PDFs when I've got a bunch of stuff I need to bring with me. So for an example, if I were going to run, let's say Pathfinder, right? So do I want to have to lug the core rulebook, the bestiary, the various different supplements, as well as the adventure that I'm bringing? Probably not. I would probably prefer to have that in PDF. Maybe have one of the physical books, maybe the adventure book, maybe the adventure the adventure path I'm running, have that a physical copy, and then have either a laptop nearby or a tablet nearby that's got all of my stuff loaded up. Or, of course, you can always do some Fantasy Grounds, too. You can load everything up in Fantasy Grounds if you want to go in that direction. So, all right. So, anyway, that's news for today. What's coming up on the show this week as well as into next week? So, first off, on tomorrow's show, it's Wednesday, so it's Wargame Wednesday. So, I am going to unbox and take a first look at Burning Lands, which is, well, let's kind of tilt that down, get rid of some of that glare, which is an expansion for the big box war game Armageddon War from my friends over at Flying Pig Games, Mark H. Walker and the gang over there. So that's on tomorrow's show. Thursdays, I love to look at RPGs, talk about RPGs. I already, last Friday, I did a deep dive into Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Dungeons & Dragons, the new adventure. I am almost done with it. Almost done reading it. I did a complete page through on Friday's show. So if you're kind of interested in maybe checking this out, by all means, check out Friday's show. But I will be reviewing this on Thursday. So I will have a detailed review for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So that's pretty sweet. A lot of Dragon Heist stuff going on. I got to admit, I am waiting for, because Dragon Heist is pretty cool because it's urban. And you don't see a lot of, especially 5th edition. I don't think there's been anything that's like really urban focused in 5th edition yet. I mean, you know, there's been some kind of campaigns. I tend to call it a campaign because to me it's like an adventure would be, I don't know. The way I look at it, an adventure is like a session, right? Or, you know, like one major portion, right? Where I look at these as more, these are more like campaign books because you're going from this, in this one, it's from 1st to 5th. But I'm looking forward to isn't it the Dungeon of the Mad Mage? It's going to be Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That's going to take characters from 6th through 20th. And it's supposed to be this like just massive dungeon in that. That I'm kind of looking forward to checking out because it has been a long time since we've seen like a mega dungeon from Wizards of the Coast, or, you know, back in the day it was TSR. So that's pretty cool. I am looking forward to that. Then, anyway, on Friday, I am actually going to review Kids on Bikes, which originally I was going to review on Thursday, but because I got Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and I know a lot of people are very interested in that, not as much with Kids on Bikes, which I will give you a hint, I do like it. I do think it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a nice sandbox. And I will talk about the difference between Kids on Bikes and Tales from the Loop, which is an excellent role-playing game in itself, but it's also another kind of 80s nostalgia sort of horror science fiction-ish game, and that's what Kids on Bikes is sort of too. But I will talk about the differences between the two. Then on Monday's show, I'm going to review Oops, You Did It Again, Expansion 4, Smash Up. Yes, it's 4 new factions. I think this came out very recently. I don't think it came out that long ago. But we finally got to bust them out and play some Smash Up. So that'll be cool. And then on Tuesday's show, I'll be reviewing Samurai Jack Back to the Past, which I did an unboxing of last week as well. So I have not gotten my 3 plays of this in, but I will over the weekend. So there you have it. That's what's coming up on the show. So last thing I just want to say before we jump into the unboxing is that if you dig the show, if you dig the Daily Dope, please subscribe. If you like the videos, please give a thumbs up. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I mean, I'll get some shows where it gets like loads and loads of views. Then I get other shows that don't get hardly any views. And part of that is because for some strange reason, there are a lot of companies out there who don't even bother to like retweet or tweet some of the coverage that their games are getting. That they, games that they gave me to do reviews of, get reviews, and they're not even sharing it. And it's not like I'm saying, hey, this is a steaming pile of crap. Give a very honest and upfront review. And to be honest, I don't do reviews on crap anymore. If something's crap, I tell the publisher, hey, this is crap. I'm not interested in doing a review. And I'm sure you don't want the public to get my licks in on it either. So anyway, so if you, like I said, if you dig the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you like the videos, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, if you don't, if you can't stand the Daily Dope, it's okay. I don't know why you watch. I don't know. But I guess people are like that. People will watch stuff and they're like, oh, I hate this guy. Why watch? Doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so I am going to be taking a first look at Fist of Dragonstones, the Tavern Edition from Stronghold Games. It's designed by Bruno Feduti and Michael Schacht. The game is for 3 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 45 to 60 minutes. It is available right now, and it does carry an MSRP of $49.95. Let's swing on over to the other camera. Let's get this on out here. Let's get the shrink wrap off. I thought I had cut through some of the shrink wrap. You know what? And where in the world? Oh, there we go. I'm like, where in the world are my reading specs? All right, so let's get the shrink off so we don't have to. And then somebody was like, I mentioned this the other day on the show. They were like, "You're using a hobby knife for the shrink wrap? Just rip it off." And it's like, you know what? It's a hell of a lot faster for me to just take the hobby knife, slash it open, and pull it out rather than trying to play around and screw around. You know, I don't know. Everybody's got to whine and bitch about something, it seems like sometimes. All right, so Fist of Dragonstones Tavern Edition is a closed fist bidding game. Players try to outwit their opponents by using gold, silver, and magic coins to buy control of an ever-changing cast of enchanted character cards. The powers from those characters help collect valuable dragon stones, lend their magical powers, help foil other players, and convert dragon stones into victory. This new edition has been updated greatly from the original to improve gameplay, including the introduction of the King's Favor, which speeds up play. The game includes 66 special character cards compared to 25 in the original. Artistically, the game has been reimagined into the setting of the Dragon and Flagon, another great game from Stronghold Games. Fist of Dragonstones was originally published by Days of Wonder in 2002. So this has got a bunch of stuff inside it, as far as I understand, because I did see this when I did my interview with Stephen Bonacore at Gen Con. In fact, I shot a little bit of B-roll footage of some folks playing Fist of Dragonstones, so we'll get this on open. Oh, look! There's a plug for Gold Fever. That Stephen Bonacore was at Origins, when I did my interview with him at Origins, he was talking about how Tom Vassell didn't like Gold Fever, and the whole hashtag was Tom Vassell doesn't like fun, or something like that. But the reality is, I mean, I have not seen Gold Fever, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but it didn't seem like it was, you know, the kind of game to be up my alley either. All right, so The Legend of Dragonstones, talking about that. So we've got the components. So we got Fairy Gold, Fairy Silver, Common Gold, Common Silver, Red, Black, Blue, and Purple Magic, different Dragonstones, special scoring die, 6 of those. Wouldn't they be special scoring dice then? King's Favor, token and card, and player screens. Talking about setting up the game, playing the game. There's a witch auction. So we've got character deck setup, witch auction, auctioning other characters, end of the round cleanup. So we have character auctions, so it's talking about the character auctions here. Tide auctions, no bids, scoring and victory, standard characters and abilities. So we got the witch, we've got the magician, sorcerer, and thief. Got a wizard, a red, yellow, and blue dragon. Then we got special characters. So we're looking at characters like the alchemist, baby dragon, Black Death. Jeez. Yes, could I have the... I'm gonna get the bubonic plague as my character here. Or what was that, the pneumonic plague? I think it was bubonic plague. Was the Black Death. Blind woman, dealer, doppelganger, dragon rider. Got a fairy queen, generous dragon, goldsmith, halfling, illusionist, innkeeper, puppeteer, quack wizard. There we go. Rainbow dragon, rat king. So most of the pages here are actually devoted to these special characters here. So really, the rules themselves are... We're looking at 4 pages. Wow, that's not a lot of pages there. All right, so those are the rules there. So you may hear Pinky in the background making noise. If you watch The Daily Dope, you know, I've got two kitties. Well, okay, Pinky's not really my cat. Smokey's my cat. Smokey's snoozing right now. They're both down here in the Duct Tape Studios. But you never see Pinky, but you'll hear Pinky. So I had to take Pinky to the vet yesterday. I dropped her off, and then my dad picked her back up. Because she's had a real issue. Like, I've got bronchitis, which I'm finally kind of getting over. That's why you haven't heard me coughing a whole lot. As I say that, of course I cough. I hack. And it's almost like she's got it. You know, she's always stuffed up and real wheezy and things like that. So the vet did give her a shot and said that shot should clear her up within about 10 days to 2 weeks. So that'll be nice. Because unfortunately, she's been wheezing in that for quite some time. I finally was able to convince my dad, because it's his cat. She's not my cat. I said, hey, you really, really got to get Pinky to the vet. So, all right. So these are the player screens, and of course you're going to fold them. So showing the character auctions, tied auctions, no bids, which we already saw that in the rules. So we've got talking about the game round, character deck setup, which auction, auctioning other characters, end of round cleanup, and we're seeing the card symbols. Scoring and victory. Points scored are tracked on a player's scoring die. The first player who scores 3 points wins. Wow, 3 points, huh? All right, so there are, I'm going to say 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we've got some cards here. Take a look at those last. I got a baggie here. So these are the Dragonstones. So we've got red, blue, yellow, or golden, and then we've got some clear. I don't know if these are Dragonstones, these clear. So we've got these. Cool deal. All right, then we've got these other goodies. So here's the King's Favor token. That's pretty big, and this is I think it's wood. I think that is wood. It's kind of cool. Okay, so these are the scoring dice, which each player will have a scoring die. I guess you just set it in for when you score a point. You're like, boink. I got 2. Now I got 3. I'm the winner. I am the winner. There must be, I would take a guess there's probably a possibility for ties. All right, so we've got those. There's 6 of these. These are also wooden. Okay, so I think these are the coins. So we've got... So I know we had fairy gold. Then we had regular gold. So one of these, maybe this is fairy gold and this is regular gold. And then we had silver, but I thought we had fairy silver. I don't know. I do not know. All right, and then it looks like we've got these player tokens. No, probably not, because there aren't 6 colors. We got purple, red, gray, blue, and black. There's only 5. Right? Huh. I don't know. Don't know. Haven't played this game. I didn't play the original game either. So, alright, so we got those tokens. We've got, these are the coins. We got the Dragonstones. And whatever these are. I don't think these are Dragonstones. Then we've got a draw bag. There we go. So we got the draw bag there. So let's see what we got as far as this deck of cards. Different characters. There we go. All right. So there's the witch. So we saw the witch. You know what? Who does the artwork on this? I'm kind of curious. Okay, so the illustrations are provided by Quentin Gleam. Maybe Glime? I don't know. Dennis Martinetz and William Bricker provide the illustrations for the game. Okay. The reason why, because usually when I start doing an unboxing or a review, I'll say, oh, an artwork's provided by... But somebody had pointed out to me before that that a lot of times the credits that I pull as far as the illustrators, the artists, is incorrect. That some of the folks that I'm giving credit to as an artist are only doing like the graphic layout and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, okay, from now on I'll just look in the actual credits of the game itself, inside the box. So, all right, so this is the King's Favor. It says, holder of the King's Favor token receives 1 common silver at the end of the round. Okay, and then these are all similar backs. Yep, they all have the same back. So, as we mentioned before, here's the witch. Take a black magic coin, bid the black magic coin. Black magic coin. I got some black magic coins. Yes, I know. I know. I am far from a singer. It says, bid the black magic coin on any card during this round and neutralize the power of that character. Oops. So we got the red dragon, take a red dragon stone. Blue dragon, take a blue dragon stone from the bank, and then a yellow dragon stone. Taking a yellow dragon stone from the bank. Sorcerer, pay 4 identical dragon stones to the bank, score 2 points. Take 1 common gold coin from the bank. It's like this guy, the magician, does for common silver. The wizard's also doing common silver. The thief, take 1 dragon stone of your choice from the second highest bidder. Ancient dragon. It's got a different kind of side to it. Take 1 dragon stone of your choice, red, yellow, blue, from the bank. So there's a couple of those ancient dragons. We got a 2-headed dragon. A couple of those. I wonder if these are just indicating that these are new cards, that these are new to this edition. Might be. Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yep, carrying a broom around. Yeah, well, you might be a Sorcerer's Apprentice, but you're no Mickey Mouse. I'll tell you that right now. A couple of those. Got the dwarf. 3 of those. Hey, Generous Dragon. Take 1 dragon stone of your choice, red, yellow, or blue, from the bank. All other players also take a dragon stone of the same color. Oh, that's so generous. Quack Wizard. A couple of those. Baby Dragon. That's kind of cute. Draw a dragon stone at random from the bank. Yeah, I think the bank is the draw bag. It's possible. We got a fairy. A couple of those. You get fairy gold for that. Rainbow dragon. An enchantress. Artwork's pretty nice. Stone cutter. A couple of those. A troll. He's picking his nose. That's good. That's nice. Blind woman. Keep this card in front of you. From now on, you use red dragon stones as if they were red, yellow, or blue. The miser. I'll take all those dragon stones, not giving anybody any. Little kobold. Almost looks like a cat. Odd looking kobold. Alchemist. Seer. The merchant. Psychic. And necromancer. Or necromancer. Goldsmith. Brigand. Bandit. An imp. Oh, I like that art. It's like, yeah, bring it on. Bring it on, yo. A goblin. A ghost. Doppelganger. So I'm taking a guess. these colored sidebars here. Well, but there's no green. I was like, is there a green Dragonstone? No, it's blue, yellow, and red. So I was gonna say, oh, maybe it has something to do with the Dragonstone colors, but I guess not. All right, and then the Black Death. Oh, that's nice. Silversmith, Gnome, Rat King. Here I figured it'd be a rat, but it's not really. It's some kind of like dude. There's the Puppeteer. I am the Puppet Master. Illusionist. Dragon Rider. Beggar. So, from what I understand, and then we got the Elf, there are like a lot of these character cards than previously. Now, originally I thought there were 75, but I guess the box said 66. But I do know the original game only had 25. So we got a Fairy Queen, a Rogue Trader. He doesn't look like he's from Warhammer 40k. What's going on here? Robber, Halfling, Warlock. I'm gonna say almost looked undead there. So a couple of those. We got an Innkeeper. A couple of those. We got a Usurper. I'll take that throne. Thank you very much. Country Witch, as opposed to the City Witch, right? Not as sophisticated. That's why she's got the flowers sticking out of her hat, I guess. A Pixie. Well, that certainly doesn't look like a Pixie from what I'm used to seeing. A Forger. A Druid. A White Dragon. A couple of those. We got a Crook. My Ayana. Whoop, 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 whoop. No, he doesn't look that much like Larry from Three Stooges. Dealer. Manipulator. Got a Sorceress. A Mermaid. It's a little Cthulhian there, right? A little Lovecraftian almost. And we've got a Wise Dragon and a Dwarven Shaman. So, those are the character cards. So we got all the character cards. You've got, will they fit this way? No. Got the King's Favor card there. We've got all the various, whoa! Those almost went flying off. We got the various different coins and Dragonstones. The scoring dice. The King's Favor token, which, I mean, this is a big disc. Got the draw bag. We've got the 6 different player screens, as well as the rules. And that is what we find when we take Fist of Dragonstones, the Tavern Edition, everything from it outside the box. Once again, as I pointed out, Fist of Dragonstones, the Tavern Edition, is available right now. It is for 3 to 6 players. It is for ages 8 and up and plays in about 45 to 60 minutes. And it does carry an MSRP of $49.95. So cool. I'm gonna bust this out. I'm gonna play this so we can do a review. Gotta be honest. I mean, there's a lot to this. This looks pretty cool. There's not a lot to the rules. Obviously, the rules are only like 4 pages long. But there's a lot of components in here. So I think that's pretty cool. But might have a tough time getting this one to the table with some of the gang, with Cameron and his friends, because his friends are real big on, like, you know, kind of really thematic stuff. Although there is theme to this, because obviously we see the dragon and flagon, or is it flagon and dragon? I think it's dragon and flagon. Say that 5 times fast. Setting. So, but I do want to check that out. I haven't played a whole lot of, like, auction bidding games. Some of them have left me, when I have played, they've kind of left me cold. But yeah, I look forward to checking that out. All right, so as I mentioned, tomorrow I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Burning Sands for Armageddon War from my good friends over at Flying Pig Games. So that'll be on War Game Wednesday. All right, so that is it for today's show. Once again, as I always say, if you're not watching videos at the Gaming Gang channel on YouTube, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Well, by now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. I will be back tomorrow. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.